Hello, this is World University and Schools Live Hangout on Air on Monday, May 6th, 2019. And today I'm hoping we can talk a little bit further about inspiring best STEM CC-4 Creative Commons 4 OpenCourseWare, and in particular with regards to World University and Schools majors or programs, 6 majors or programs at the planning at the undergraduate level and potentially at the PhD level first. World University and Schools seeks to build on MIT OpenCourseWare in its approximately 32 departments online, available through the MIT OpenCourseWare website. But to begin, we'll start with 6 majors, and as we develop, we hope to expand that, in particular in the licensing process with the state of California's Bureau of Private Post-Secondary Education, BPPE. People may join us today, hoping the conversation will emerge in this 10-person participatory Google Group video hangout around World University and School and inspiration. MIT OpenCourseWare is inspiring in itself. 2,500 courses online, available for free. CC-4 licensing allows 3 things: sharing, adapting, but non-commercially. So World University and Schools seeks to build on this inspiration. And one approach would include attracting students who enjoy doing this kind of STEM and social science and humanities academic these opportunities to study with highest quality materials. I'll put in the YouTube channel below this video at the close of this video a UC Berkeley transfer student Twitter post where transfer students into UC Berkeley are very excited and going to Zellerbach Hall on the UC Berkeley campus just as they've been accepted as transfer students. Seeking high achievers is something World University and Schools planning for, and how that emerges is another set of questions. We will grow in that direction as we license with the state of California's Bureau of Private Post-Secondary Education. So students who are engaged and potentially engaged with MIT OpenCourseWare resources, eventually in its 5 languages, and World University and Schools plan 200 countries, major universities, and their languages, main languages, official languages. But that's one avenue for inspiration and World University and School approach to it, seeking very engaging and students who have developed a focus in academics who want to further that with new opportunities such as free to students online best STEM CC-4 OpenCourseWare degrees. Another approach will include the online opportunities of simply making videos. Maren Hunsberger is a science educator and recently has posted about a video about physics and returning to the standard model. She's very clear and excellent in her presentations in her video analyses of science, and I'll post one from her recently also below this YouTube channel exploring this. This is something students can create in very new ways that wouldn't be necessarily available as readily in physical classrooms, say at Stanford University or at MIT or at UC Berkeley. So this online focus of World University and School will open horizons in this in these ways as well. Another approach to inspiring Best STEM CC-4 OpenCourseWare, especially MIT OpenCourseWare in its 5 languages, will be through virtual reality and even technologies such as Google Poly, which is a library of virtual reality objects. And I'll post a Stanford Medicine recent tweet below, which shows in VR various approaches to examining cellular processes. Fascinating and exciting new ways of engagement, and for inspiration as well, for modeling potentially dynamic cellular processes. This tweet from Stanford Medicine is not about dynamic processes, but this is a direction that opens itself fully on the web with the internet and at World University and School. Also, World University and School is seeking to facilitate a realistic virtual Earth. Think Google Street View with Time Slider, Google Maps, Google Earth, and at the cellular and atomic levels, integrated in one whole realistic virtual Earth as part of or in conjunction with a realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs, my ethnographic field site. So how this emerges with something like Google Poly, and for both learning as classrooms and also as STEM field sites, will be very inspiring, I think, in so many ways, as this realistic virtual Earth builds out for both learning and inspiration. With time, there'll be a conversation between languages in all 200 countries, and that potentially will be inspiring. Different approaches to Best STEM OpenCourseWare that I think will shape a way of thinking about how science and social science and humanities have emerged, and even in different countries. So a kind of cultural relativism to knowledge generation in all its forms will be very inspiring. Conversation between peoples and countries and peoples and languages mediated by the web. Another inspiration will potentially be with translation software that will open further communication possibilities. And last week, in talking with Fritz in this Google group video hangout, World University and School live hangout on air, which video is up on the YouTube channel for World University and School, he asked what was most intriguing about some of the, I think, interlanguage processes. And I responded that Google Translate is end-to-end. What's interesting about what's between this end-to-end software is basically at Google Translate, a universal language, a single universal language has emerged as a consequence of Google's approach to translation software. that in itself is potentially inspiring and remarkable, and its further developments and what it makes possible between peoples and languages, and also understanding how it works, is potentially very inspiring in a variety of ways. So I think I'll bring this to a close for the time being. Please stay tuned to youtube.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH, as well as similarly twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH. And as World University and School continues with the licensing process with BPPE, we potentially will be seeking matriculating students when that process is underway, potentially, possibly this autumn, 2019. That's an inspiration, studying from home with Best STEM OpenCourseWare. Just as final closing inspirations, World University and School is exploring, as we seek to plan to code for all peoples in all 7,111 living languages, to plan for coding for all 7.5 billion people on the planet. And as this number grows to 10 or 11 billion in the next 100 years, as wiki teachers and learners, in doing so, we're seeking to facilitate universal education that's wiki. Everyone can become a teacher or a learner in all 7,111 living languages, and potentially between all 7.5 billion people. And we'd also like to explore facilitating, secondly, in a kind of caring way, an approach to electronic medical records that focuses on avatar bots through time, where the avatar bots could store video of surgery, for example, and even intergenerationally, so genetic information with time, and also for planning for 7.5 billion people. These are all big data projects, to say the least. Potentially inspirational for what we'll be able to learn from this information, and also how we'll be able to help people, but also with regard to creativity in medicine, and in a third related vein to coding, planning for 7.5 billion people, World University and School would also seek to facilitate, in some number of the 200 countries, official languages we're planning to be in, an approach, an infrastructure for a universal, single cryptocurrency with blockchain ledger, backed by some number of 200 countries' central banks. And this might furthermore be facilitated with universal basic income experiments, such as the state of California's UBI experiment with some residents in Stockton, California, and explore doing this, in 19 out of 28 European Union countries. Thus, potentially, in this coding for 7.5 billion people and exploring a single cryptocurrency with blockchain ledger, with UBI experiments, alleviating poverty, and at the same time opening opportunities for online education, both towards free degrees and wiki as well, so open-ended. So those three aspects, thinking in terms of 7.5 billion people, as wiki teachers and learners for one, as avatar bot medical records, electronic health records for two, and single cryptocurrency with blockchain ledger with universal basic income experiments for three. This may well all be facilitated in something like what emerges from a kind of Google Plus infrastructure. Google Plus closed on April 2nd, 2019. But I just noticed in an email a month later, around May 2nd, that Google Plus still seems to be operating, but behind a kind of billboard. An email came through with a post from a Google Plus user inviting me to reply. So this kind of social media infrastructure could be used to plan for 7.5 billion people, for wiki teachers and learners, for avatar bot electronic medical records, and even for a single cryptocurrency with blockchain ledger and UBI, universal basic income experiments. So further inspiration with regard to best STEM CC-4 OpenCourseWare. I'm Scott McLeod. This is World University and Schools Live Hangout on Air. We'll meet again next week, which is, I think, May 13th, 2019 at 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you have questions, ideas you want to share, youtube.com, WORLDUNIVANDSCH, twitter.com /WORLDUNIVANDSCH. If you have questions or ideas you want to share, or suggestions, interested in exploring how matriculation or registration will work, the email address is info@worlduniversityandschool.org. That is also the website address where you can gain access to languages and nation states, all those wikis and libraries and museums and much more. So thank you for your potential viewing of this, and stay tuned. More later. See you next week, and bye for now.